Hey everybody, this is Carrie. I'm making a video as a response to Loki2504's video where he replied to my comments about crashing. So your video was amazing. You've taught yourself so much, and it's really inspiring me to think that, you know, I can learn many more languages by myself, because you've done it by yourself, and I think it's great. So thanks so much for sharing your ideas, and I hope that you keep sharing, because I think a lot of people probably admire what you've done. So I was just thinking that you said that you don't want to study grammar, that you haven't done it at all, and that actually goes together with Krashen's idea. He says that grammar is usually, like, it should be left out completely. Like when you think about when you learn your own language, you were never taught, you know, like if you said, you know, if you were speaking English and you said, "Mummy, cookie give me," your mother didn't say, no, 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 in English, this is a head initial language where you have to say, "Give me a cookie," or, you know, you never got those kinds of lessons from your parents as a child, so you just acquire that grammar. But Krashen says that you can start to use grammar when you think it would be useful, like if you're an intermediate or advanced learner and you've already managed to get a handle on the language. So I think that kind of makes sense with what you were saying. And I liked what you said about the different accents, like when you choose a language, what accent you choose to learn. So you're right that Korean is very consistent, and that I guess I'm learning the Seoul version, because there are a couple little differences. Like when I went to Jeju Island in September, what I do is I try to practice my Korean at any moment. So usually when I get in a taxi, I'll start chatting, I'll start asking, like, you know, do you have a family? I'm from Canada, blah, blah, blah. So I tried to do that in the taxi when I got there, and I just did not understand anything that he said. Like I said a couple things and he was kind of like agreeing, and then he asked me some questions and I had no idea what he was asking me. So I don't know if I was having an off day or I wasn't paying attention or something, but I just felt like, wow, I don't know what language that is, but I can't understand it. So that was pretty funny. But yeah, I think like the point of all of this is that we want to communicate, right? Like I want to be able to share my experience as a foreigner living in a new place, and I want to be able to share my thoughts on the world and my political views, and you know, what position I have, and all these kinds of things. Like I want to share my life and make friends, and just be in contact with as many people as I can. So I feel like languages allow us to do that. So that's why I want to learn more and more and more. And I think that the way that we learn, like if we learn by communicating and by sharing and taking risks, and like those are the things that actually allow us to improve. But I think if we listen only, there's no real chance for, you know, the moment where you realize, like, I misunderstood what is happening. Like I think when you're having a conversation and you make a mistake, that's when you really have a learning moment for yourself. So, but what you mentioned about the good book that you knew for learning Korean, I don't know Chinese. I know 多少钱, which means how much is it, and maybe mifan, which is rice, but those are just kind of things that I learned when I was traveling around there, so I don't actually know anything. I would like to. It's a very widely spoken language, so I would like to, but I don't at this point. So if I tried to learn Korean using a Chinese textbook, I think it would just be impossible at this point. But thank you for thinking of me. And I want to share a little bit about how I've been studying Korean. I started by using a website called KoreanClass101.com, which is amazing. They provide lessons for free, so I would just listen to the audio and they break it up. They usually have like a conversation at the beginning, and then they repeat the conversation slower, and then they repeat the conversation with the English translation, and then they go through it and they give the key vocabulary, and then they do a grammar point at the end of the lesson. So I don't pay for anything on that site, so I just would write it down in my little notebook here. This is like a very old notebook of mine, but it's got tons of my KoreanClass101.com notes on it here. And so I use that, and there's a guy who works on that site called Hyunwoo Sun, and I also met him on YouTube, so I followed him to his new site, which is talktomeinkorean.com. So I've been using that site also, which is great. It's really casual and funny conversations that we're learning about, very useful things. So I listen to those, and again I make little notes and I try to study them. And I also just watch other stuff on YouTube, like I try to look up you know, some like Yashim Manman or some kind of TV show, and if I can find it with English subtitles, then I'll pause it and try to listen again, and I think that's the translation, and listen and look up on the Naver dictionary or something. So I do a lot of stuff like that. Not so much lately. Now that I'm back in Toronto, I'm a little bit less like daily about it, but I'm still studying. So I would recommend those two sites to you, KoreanClass101.com and Talk to Me in Korean. So I'll post links to those in the sidebar, but yeah, I just wanted to share a little bit about my experience learning Korean. Oh, and I also wanted to tell you guys about this book. This is by Steven Pinker, who works at I guess he works at Harvard. I think he's actually Canadian. And this book is amazing. I just got it from the library yesterday, but it's really fascinating. It's about how language is just as instinctual as like a bird building a nest. So it's very, very interesting book. You guys might be... it's not even really for like a linguistic background, like it's just made for anyone to read. So I would highly recommend that you guys get a copy of this. It's called The Language Instinct by Steven Pinker. So check this out and let me know if you've already read this, what do you think of it, because I just started it yesterday and I was pretty impressed. So have a really good day, guys, and let's keep studying. 열심히 공부.